Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's 30-minute encouragement. Good afternoon. This is Chris. This is my wife, Sabrina.
Hi, everyone.
Hope you all are having a wonderful time today. It is a lovely day to serve the Lord today, isn't it?
It is. It's a beautiful day,
hmm
especially
Yeah,
after all the rain.
I know we've been having a little bit of rain lately. That
Yeah.
is true, and so it's been honestly, it's been kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not always a fan of muddy like ground and stuff to
Yeah.
splash in. But I know that, the rain always brings its joys and things like that. Like kids love to play in
Yep.
the rain puddles and things like that. You know, I just kind of make me thinking about this. But I remember when I was younger, Sabrina, um, my grandmother on my dad's side, we would take some time to go and like if it was raining outside and we were visiting,
Yeah.
we would go and kind of like jump in the rain
Yeah.
puddles on the road and
We
stuff
did
like
that
that.
too.
She always sang the song, singing in the rain.
Oh.
I'm singing in the rain. And so, that was always a fun time and, you know, just a lot of good memories with that. And we see that y'all are logging in and tuning in. Thank you so much for coming in today for TME. Oh my goodness. Hannah White, she put in here a comment says, "So when does Sabrina get to beat you at another game today, Chris?" Okay, Hannah, just because y'all are best friends, I see how it is. Look, I don't know. I don't know. I, my wife always gangs up on me anyway. People tend to
Oh
take her
no,
side.
that's not
N-
even true.
Now it is true because people always take your side.
I mean, but that's not my fault. That's a you problem.
I'll take responsibility for that. It's hard not to take your side. Sometimes I think even I take your side, even when whatever. But you know oh well, I'll try we actually do have a little something planned today, nothing crazy or new, but something I don't think that my wife and I have done on TME yet, and we're going to get to that soon. We want to say thank you as you're logging in today and joining us for TME 30-minute encouragement. And so, Sabrina, I'd like to ask you, what's one thing that we can praise the Lord for today?
Yes, honestly, I'm praising the Lord for our revival services
hmm
at Calvary this past week. It's been such an encouragement to my heart, and I know yours as well. And I'm just thankful that we were actually able to be there for them, and just being able to get to hear Pastor Farrell. I know you'll mention him, and just being able to hear him, and I was really challenged, and so I'm just praising the Lord for that, and just even things as I learned this week, just trying to apply them as well, so I'm thankful for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've just had revival services at our church, at Calvary Baptist Church in Smithfield, Virginia. And we had Pastor Ben Farrell. This is the son of Tom Farrell. He was there with us and preaching for these revival services and did a wonderful job.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lord really used him in a mighty way, and it was honestly just really cool to get to hear him talk.
Yeah.
I don't mean to sound demeaning in any way, but to me it was really cool. It was almost like, the way he spoke was kind of how you would hear like a radio host from, like the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, kinda.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's
kinda.
kind of like, I don't know, like the vibe, I guess you would say, that I kind of got from it. It was really cool, but it was a very distinguished voice
Yeah.
and just very awesome, and so it was. I mean, like there's some preachers that they get up there and they yell and scream and you know
Practical truths,
yeah.
and just going deeper into those things, it's like, wow, and really opens your mind to those things as well, so.
Absolutely. A lot of good expository and a lot of
Yeah.
good application. It was great. And so we had a good time, and that's what we're praising the Lord for today. Write down in the comment what you're praising the Lord for today. I see that, again, Hannah White hasn't here. Says she's thankful today that God cares about even the little things. In every situation, we can have joy. And that's a great comment. And it's a wonderful thing. Even though that you think that my wife's going to beat me today, that's fine, but we're thankful that you all are tuning in today. And honestly,
Brittany is also tuning in on YouTube.
oh, hey,
She
that's
says, "Love and miss you guys."
Oh, we love and miss you too. That's fantastic. We hope that little Ami's doing all right.
Yes,
And
love you.
so, Absolutely. And so thank you all so much for joining us today. And again, just to kind of give a heads up as to what's going on, we always bring this up every week for TME. We just had our, what did we actually, we just had something just this last Saturday, didn't we, Sabrina? What did we have this last Saturday?
Our junior harvest rally, which was amazing.
We
The
just had
Lord
our,
really was working.
yep, our junior harvest rally. So we had close to 200, if not over 200
It's a
people on the
lot
property
of
for that
people on the
event.
property.
Yeah, it was wonderful. We had evangelist Drew Hayes with us,
Yeah.
and he did a wonderful job. I don't know any of the specifics, but from what I understand, there were people getting some conversations and some
Yeah.
counseling, and so again, there are other people that know that better than I do. I wish I had the information to bring to you here, but I know that the Lord was definitely working and is continuing to work.
Yes.
And so I mentioned this, I think, last week before we actually got into the harvest rally, but it's really cool to see how, a lot of these kids will come from camp or from, maybe sometimes going to church for like VBS or things during the summer, and they come to these events as they're all like they're in the swing of school at this point,
Yeah.
and coming to these harvest rallies, it reminds them that, hey, you made a decision for the Lord during the summer, if you came to camp, or for VBS or whatever it may be, if you made a decision for the Lord, stick with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a reignite the flame kind of event, and it's
Yeah.
so much fun, and we have a lot of good times with it too. A lot of fun games. Actually, Sabrina, I don't know if you noticed the car smash
I did.
that we had.
I did.
There were. I'll be honest with you. I saw more of the junior girls walking away
Yeah.
with pieces of that car than
They
the
were
junior
tearing it
guys.
up.
They took that hammer and they were wailing on that thing.
I know one girl had like a huge piece of
Something.
a huge piece of the car, and she was so proud of that thing.
I know.
She's gonna have that forever.
And so those kids, they got to kind of, as long as their parents and their youth pastors were, okay with them bringing it home, they got to take it home as a trophy. If they knocked it off, they got to keep it. And so that was a lot of fun. I know those kids were just enjoying that. And so I think we have another one for the teen rally this week. I saw the car out there. It looks very ready to be smashed with a sledgehammer today.
Yes,
So
very
I don't know.
much
Maybe I'll try to give that a shot at some point. We'll see. I don't know if I'm going to knock anything off, but it would be kind of fun to give it a shot. I think
It
we
would.
also have a mechanical bull coming.
Yes, that's gonna be fun.
That's going to be amazing. We had that last year too,
Yeah.
and that was just a huge hit.
Oh, for sure.
Huge hit. And so that's always a lot of fun to have and do. I love seeing people on the mechanical bull. I've tried the
It's
mechanical bull
funny.
one time. Mm-mm. That was a one and done. One and done. I think Nate. I think our audio visual guy. I think you were there and saw me when I was trying. Oh,
That was so funny.
we don't need to discuss that part, Nathan. That's fine. He says that he may or may not have a recording of that
I'm
time that I was on a mechanical bull.
sure he does.
And so, but that's fine. That'll stay archived somewhere, I'm sure. Um, but we are going to have mechanical bull at the Teen Harvest Rally, which is coming up this Saturday. And so, if you still have time to register, if you'd like to come to this event, and so teenager, if you want to get in touch with your mom or dad or whoever's at home and say, "Hey, I want to go to the Harvest Rally," get in touch with them. Let them know. Go online to www.theedge.camp where you can go register for this event today. The event is on Saturday, so you don't want to miss out.
Yes.
And so we're going to have good food, good fun, good fellowship. But most importantly, we're going to have great preaching.
Absolutely.
And so, like I said, we had Drew Hayes this last week at the junior rally. We're going to have Pastor Tom Odom with us this coming Saturday, and that's going to be a wonderful treat.
Oh, for sure.
He is a great preacher. We heard him preach several times at
We
Crown
did at
College.
Crown, yeah.
And so that was always a blast and a lot of fun to see. And so we have some more people that are tuning in. Thank you so much. I see Caitlin Bunn is watching. That means I'm sure Jared is not too far behind. And so, actually, we're going to be seeing Jared and Caitlin here not too much longer.
Excited to have them.
I know that'll be a fun time, and so to be able to see them and things like that, and just kind of just it's cool to see the connections that we all you're able to make, and not just from people that you knew at Crown, but also the things that take place here at the camp, and just how it draws people together. It's really fun to see, and so absolutely. But yeah, we also have our not just our rallies coming up, but again, I just want to highlight the fact that we also have our men's and ladies retreats coming up very soon.
Yes.
And so our men's retreat is in late October, and then our men's I think I said men's retreat in late October.
Yes.
Our ladies retreat will be in mid-November. And so again, go to the website www.theedge.camp. I believe Nathan may put up some links in the comment boxes for you to go online and be able to register online for these events. We'd love for you to be a part of these with us. And so the Lord is going to do some things where He's going to meet with people during these events. Yes, we have fun and we have a good time, but really these events are for the purpose of getting people alone with God so that they are paying attention to His word and His will for their lives. And so it is a wonderful time. I know in my life personally, one of my favorite events that we do is the Men and Boys Prayer Advance every year. I think we call it the Mountain Moving Prayer Advance. And so, and that is just that is a special event in my heart personally. And so you get to these, locations, and yes, there's all sorts of things that go on, but you truly get to a position where it's okay, I need to pay attention to what the Lord has for me, and I'm either going to say yes to him or I'm going to say no to him. There is no in between. There is no ignoring him. And so it's a wonderful time to be able to just connect with the Lord in that way. And so that's a very exciting time.
Yes. I'm
But we,
excited.
yes, absolutely. This will be your first time seeing the men's and ladies retreats, isn't it?
I think so. I've always heard about them, but never got to be a part of it. So I'm
Absolutely.
excited. I know it'll be behind the scenes, but just everything going into it.
Oh,
So
it's going to be
I'm
phenomenal.
stoked. I'm ready.
And then we also have our um, Teen All Nighter coming up in late December, and you don't want to miss that either. And so that's always a huge blast for us too. I think I mentioned that we had Bob Holmes with us. I think
Yes.
last one that we did in last December, and that was just a
That
huge
is one of my
blast. We had such a
favorite
good time.
events. I
Absolutely,
am.
7 p.m.
Yes.
to 7 a.m. I'm telling you, there's nothing else like it. You are exhausted by the end of the day or end of the night, I
Very
guess
much
end of
so.
the morning, but man, it is just so much fun. And so we have a blast. And again, we still preach the word of God at our events. We have all these things that go on, but again, we're trying to make sure that people understand, hey, God loves you and God has a plan for you, and it begins at salvation. And so we want to be able to proclaim the gospel with everything that we do. And speaking of preaching, we also want to highlight Refuge Youth Revival that'll be coming up next year, early next year. For It's another teen event, and we'd love for you to be a part of that with us as well. And so be on the lookout for all these events online. If something catches your interest, or maybe you'd like to come and help us out and be able to volunteer some time to get involved in some of the work that goes on around here, call the office number. I know you can find that on the website as well. And let people know, hey, I'm interested in wanting to come alongside and serve. I know we'd love to have you, and we'd love to talk to you more about being able to find a place for you to serve here at the Edge Christian Camp. And so it's exciting and it's great, and all sorts of things are going to be going on. Now, for our little fun time. So Sabrina was trying to figure out a fun game for us to play, and I think we settled on just the tried and true trivia. Now, Carrie and I have done this on multiple occasions here on TME,
Yes.
but my wife and I have not done this yet.
Nope.
And unfortunately, baby, I hate to let you know this, but I chose some rather difficult questions. Now, I'll give you this: they're all multiple choice.
Well,
So
okay. Well, that
so
helps.
even if you take a guess, you at least have a 25% chance of getting it correct, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, honey.
Yeah, so I'm not going to make it that hard on you, but the questions themselves are not that hard, are not that easy.
I don't
Now, I knew
expect
some of
anything
them.
less.
I was able to know some of them as time went on. And if I'll give you a hint before we even get into this, some of these questions, the answers are hidden within the question itself.
Okay.
Some of them are hidden within.
Oh, wasn't he? Oh, he's laughing. I'm scared now.
Nathan doesn't
Ah,
know what questions I'm about to bring up, but yes, if you think about what some words may also be translated as into other words, that's your hint. Sometimes the answer is in the question.
okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves started here. So I'm gonna pull up my question number one.
Can I get help from the audience?
Yes, actually, the audience can definitely get involved in this. And so type down your answers, write it in the chat as we go through these questions. We're not going to take too much time, but we do want to highlight a few of these. And I want to see if I can stump my wife, because usually she's good at beating me at all sorts of games. So I have to try and level the playing field somewhere. And so here we go.
Can't even believe this.
All right. So here we are.
Okay.
Here's question number 1. What is the only mammal capable of true flight? As in, not like gliding or anything like that, a mammal that is capable of actually flying. Here are your answers: the flying fox, the colugo, the flying squirrel, or a bat. Which mammal is capable of actual flight? Go ahead and write your answers in the chat and see.
A
ma-
bat.
You think so? You think it's more than some of the other animals, like a colugo?
I don't even know what that is. You know what? But then I'm like, is he just gonna put that in there? Because I'm like, oh, he's gonna put in a name that, is just super like I would not know. Because but then you're probably wondering, oh, I'm gonna stump her, and then she's gonna choose the one that she probably doesn't know, and then it's not that.
Hmm. So what's your final answer?
I'm going
By the
with
way,
bat.
Hannah White says that the flying fox is a bat. Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
You know what? I'm going with the flying fox.
You're gonna go with the flying fox?
Yes, I agree with Hannah on this.
Well, she just says that the flying fox is a bat. She's never. I don't think she's put down an actual answer. But as far as what animal you think is capable of true flight, you think that the flying fox is the answer? Is that your final answer? Are you buzzing it in?
I'm gonna go with that. The
Flying
flying
fox?
fox.
You're wrong. It's the bat. I'm sorry. We're off to a good start.
I
All
think
right.
it was
All
right
right.
the first time.
Go ahead and give me one of your questions. I want to know what one of yours is.
It's okay, Hannah. It's okay.
All right. So far we're 0-0 technically, because I haven't gotten one right yet, but she just hasn't gotten one right either. So I'm already having a good time,
Okay.
but now I'm probably gonna lose.
I think this one will be interesting because I'm not sure if you're gonna get this one. I
Okay,
didn't even actually know this myself.
lay it on me.
Okay, what nationality was Vincent van Gogh? And I have multiple choice.
He was Scottish.
Do you want do you want me to give you
Okay.
the
Oh, is it multiple choice? Okay. Okay. Give me the multiple choice.
Okay. So the first one is Dutch, second one Russian, and then the third one is Scottish.
He's Scottish.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer. He's Scottish. I know that.
No, he's Dutch.
No. Are you serious?
Yes.
He was Dutch?
He
For
was
real?
Dutch.
But he lived in Scotland, I thought.
So,
No way. Vincent van
Dutch.
Gogh was Dutch?
yeah. And also, the third one that I had was Swedish, but the fact that you just said Scottish, I just put it in there because I thought you were gonna answer it.
Oh no! So you tripped me up.
I did.
See, I didn't try to. I guess I didn't try to trip you up. By the way, Hannah White says, I think in relation to the flying fox and the bat, she says that they're the same thing. I don't know.
I'm right.
No.
I'm literally right.
Well, okay. These are just questions that I was able to pull up, and so these are the 4 different answers that they had on there. Besides, if a flying fox is a bat, then why not just call it all a bat instead of a flying fox? There has to be some difference, right? I think so.
No.
I could be wrong on that.
You know
Either
what?
way,
I think I'm right by default.
no, I'm sorry.
It's
Because
Bible.
what do you mean it's in the Bible?
Is that what she said? That's what she said, right?
She said they're the same thing. Hannah says that she was right. Hannah,
I love you, Hannah. You're great.
it's okay, fine. We'll give you that one, and I did not get that one. Okay, well, okay.
So if it's the same thing, because remember, like they might have not called it a bat in Bible times, but
Okay, well, here we go. Oh, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Here's a question for you. What is the most populous city in Africa considering population within city limits? So basically, like, the most populated
okay,
city
say
in
that
Africa.
again because I
The
did
most populated city in Africa. All right? In all of
Okay.
Africa. It is Cairo, like Cairo, Egypt, Johannesburg, Lagos, or Kinshasa.
Why would I know this?
Exactly. Take a guess.
Do you know it, Nathan? Of course, you're in school, so of course you would know it.
Oh, are you saying that you've like lost smarticles of you as you've
Dude,
been out of school?
okay, I can guarantee you everyone would agree with me. No one, if they learned about any of the countries, no one's gonna remember, populations of everything.
Okay. Well, okay. Cairo, Johannesburg, Lagos, or Kinshasa? Kinshasa.
Cairo.
Wrong. It's Lagos. I probably would have guessed Cairo though, because Cairo is it's a touristy area.
Honestly, I just said it because I thought the name sounded cool.
Well, it's Cairo, Egypt. I'm pretty certain that's the capital of Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, but it's actually Lagos. I d- which I think would have been my second guess. So if you had asked me that question, I know I would have gotten
What?
it wrong.
No, it's not even fair. You gave me 4. I gave you 3,
Yeah.
and you still got the wrong
What do you mean?
answer. But
No. Okay. Look, you can't be pulling this on me. And give me two more. Well, you also tripped me up by putting Scottish
you were
in
gonna get.
there.
But here's the thing: you were gonna guess Scottish anyway.
Well, you okay? Well, fine. Okay. Well, go ahead and give me your next question.
Actually, you probably wouldn't have.
I thought for sure that Vincent Van Gogh was Scottish. I'm surprised that he wasn't. That's actually really interesting to me.
Okay.
Okay, next question. You ready?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Who was the president of the United States during the Civil War?
During the Civil War,
Yeah. George Bush, Abraham Lincoln, or Richard Nixon?
it was Abraham Lincoln. That's the easiest question. And wait, why you keep making the other ones George Bush and Richard Nixon?
Think of any other ones.
That of course I knew it. I'm sorry. Well, because like it was Abraham Lincoln, and then after him was Ulysses S. Grant, and then I can't remember who the other one was after him. But was it Teddy Roosevelt? It might have been Roosevelt.
That was just the question that I found online.
But but yeah, no, it was definitely Abraham Lincoln. Definitely not Richard
Yes.
Nixon. Definitely not George Bush.
Okay, good.
So
So you know
I
your
knew
history.
that
You
one.
know your history.
So in other words,
Well, you said you liked history, so I wanted to really know if you did.
I do like history. That was my favorite subject in school was history. Oh, we have here that Jordan Mills said that Lagos was the most populated city. You are correct on that.
Oh,
Like Heath says that Abraham Lincoln was the president during that time.
tell me what they were guessing.
Well, they're just coming in. Not saying them.
Okay.
And so uh, Annie Abernathy says, "I'm pretty sure that Van Gogh lived in France. Did Van Gogh live in France? I thought for sure he lived in
All I
like
know is that he's
Ireland,
Dutch.
Scotland. Huh?
All I know is that he's Dutch.
That's actually really interesting. I did. If he lived in France, then I knew less about Vincent Van Gogh than I thought I did,
That's why I
which
picked
is
this
actually
one
interesting.
because I wasn't actually sure that you even were gonna know.
That's fair. Okay. Okay.
So I'm glad I'm proud of that question.
All right. So let me ask you this
My
one then.
other
Here's a question for you. This is a science question. You like science, so this should be your field, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What French chemist and microbiologist is credited with a namesake discovery that revolutionized food preservation? Right?
I
This is
used
the
to,
preservation of food.
man, I used
So
to know
your
this. I don't
answers,
know if I know it anymore.
it's okay. This is actually not that hard of a question. The answers are Louis Pasteur, Alexander Fleming, Marie Curie, and Antoine Lavoisier. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Lavoisier. Lavoisier, I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah. So Louis Pasteur, Alexander Fleming, Marie Curie, Antoine Lavoisier. Food preservation. I'm going to give you a hint. The answer is in the question.
Say it again.
What French chemist and microbiologist is credited with a namesake discovery that revolutionized food preservation? Louis Pasteur, Alexander Fleming, Marie Curie, or Antoine Lavoisier? There is a hint in there. I'll put it that way. It may be in the question. It may be in one of the answers, but there is.
I'm gonna get this wrong.
Even Nathan knows this.
Because
Nathan is sitting over there laughing his head off. You know it. You probably already see what the hint is. Yeah, you know where this is going.
Marie Curie.
Nope, not Marie Curie. It was Louis Pasteur.
You know, I kept
Because
guessing.
think about it.
I was gonna say.
Pasteurization, like pasteurized food.
I was gonna say that. I
Yep.
really was.
That was
And
the
I
answer.
was like, well, Curie, like, because if you cure things, that's a form of preservation.
Yep.
So that's why I was.
Oh yeah, if you cure thing. Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. Let me give you this one then.
I just kept second guessing.
I'm gonna kind of just like shoot off at the mouth on this one for you. Watch this. Known for her pioneering research on radioactivity, who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize? Now the answers are Stephanie Kwolek, Rosalind Franklin, Marie Curie, or Ada Lovelace.
How would I know this? This is cruel.
You should get this because I gave you the biggest hint for this.
Just say it again.
Who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize? Stephanie Kwolek, Rosalind Franklin, Marie Curie, Ada Lovelace.
Marie Curie.
It was Marie Curie, yes. I was hoping you would say Marie Curie again because we've been talking about her this whole time.
I would, if I just didn't second guess myself, I would have got those questions correct. I would have got both of those right.
All right, go ahead and give me one more question really quickly because then
Okay.
we're going to get to our devotion.
I am going to do a Bible question.
Oh no, I'm going to get this wrong, aren't I? And I'm gonna look like a fool. That's not going to be good. Look, and it's probably going to be some like really hard question too. Um, I'm a little nervous about this one. All right, what do you got?
I don't think you're gonna know this one.
All right, lay it on me. Let's do it quickly. What is it?
What was the name of Aaron's wife?
Oh man, I don't know. Aaron's wife, like as in Moses' brother? Oh, I can't remember.
Do you want? There's
Oh man, and
hints.
we
There's 4.
okay. Give me the hints.
Okay.
Give me the answer.
So Miriam, Elisheba, Zipporah, or Deborah?
Well, I know it's not Miriam. That's his sister. Um, not Deborah. I want to say Sephora.
That's your final answer?
Final answer, Sephora.
Nope.
Really?
It was Elisheba.
Oh, I had it down to one of two, and it was either going to be her or Sephora, and I thought
Moses'
Sephora.
wife, right? Zipporah.
That might be true, actually. Yeah.
I was
Oh,
honestly
man.
thinking you were gonna go with Elisheba.
I thought about Elisheba, but then you said Sephora, and I was like, it might actually be Sephora. I could not remember that for the life of me. Congratulations, you stumped me on a Bible question. That makes me feel really bad right now. I'm not gonna lie, because we're about to get into the Bible, and now I feel like a fool.
I wonder how many in the comments, how many people like actually knew that question or knew
that
that
is
answer.
an interesting question to ask. It's really good actually, because it kind of helps me understand. Like, hey, I need to go back and study
We don't
names.
really talk about Aaron's wife most of the time, so that's probably why we
Yeah.
think about Moses most of the time.
But we are going to go ahead and go into the devotion for now. So again, thank you all so much for joining us today for TME. We're going to get into the Bible reading, and I'm actually going to be reading just a couple verses out of Hebrews chapter 12. I believe we've been in this passage before, but I kind of want to highlight just the first couple of verses out of Hebrews 12 and talking about just some of the things that we've seen out of here recently. Again, we mentioned earlier that we've had our revival services at Calvary Baptist Church for our fall revival with Pastor Ben Farrell, and it was a wonderful time. The last service he gave, or sermon he gave on Wednesday night, it was actually out of this passage, and was a wonderful sermon that he gave. And so I just want to kind of reread and kind of go through some of the things that he talked about a little bit. So in verse 1 of Hebrews 12, it says, "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God." And so one of the things he mentioned was talking about being compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. So the chapter before in Hebrews 11 is if I remember correctly, it's known as the Hall of Faith. There's a lot of highlights that are given in this chapter, talking about by faith this person did this, or by faith this person did that. And then it goes into chapter 12. It says, "Wherefore," so because of everything in chapter 11, it continues the thought and saying, "Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses." And one of the things that Brother Farrell said was that some people will like to say that that word witnesses has to do with being inspected or watched or things like that. But when you look at the chapter before and what the Bible is saying here and in its context, it's not really saying that. From what we understand, it's actually saying that when we're compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, it's not saying witnesses as in people that are watching what we're doing, but witnesses as in people who have gone before us, who are witnesses of Jesus Christ, who are witnesses of the work of God and have seen God work through the faith that they put in him. And so we're compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, of seeing people who have gone before us, with faith, by faith, serving the Lord, that we can herald back to and look at and say, the Lord was able to work with this person. The Lord was able to use this person despite their sinfulness. In the Hall of Faith, it lists people who most people, would think would not have listed this person in the Hall of Faith. However, Rahab is listed in
Mm,
chapter 11. She
yeah.
was a harlot in Jericho,
Yeah.
and yet she's listed in the Hall of Faith. And not only that, she is in what we call the scarlet thread of redemption. She is in the lineage of Christ,
Yeah.
going all the way down to where Jesus is, because she put her faith in God, and God had a plan for her specifically. And so it goes to show you that there's a lot that we can herald back to and saying, look, no, the Lord was able to make great and mighty things out of people in their weaknesses. Moses was a man who, said that he was a stutterer. However, God was able to use him to lead his people, lead God's people out of Egypt. All of these great and mighty things. And then I think of other people as well. Gideon was a man who was afraid, a man who would hide away or would try to avoid conflict altogether. And God used him and 300 other men in order to wipe out the enemy. And so we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, yes. And so sometimes you may feel as if, the race that you're running is seeming heavy footed. It may seem like you are out of breath. My friend, it may seem like you are struggling to breathe. But my friend, I can understand this and remember that God used people in their weaknesses that are listed in the Bible and all throughout history, men and women who thought that they would amount to nothing. Yet, because of the difference making power work that Jesus Christ put into them, first when he died on the cross, and second with the will that he has in their lives to serve him, with all that together, they were able to make a difference despite their weaknesses because God gave them the power to do so because of the indwelling of the Holy Spirit. My friend, that can be the same can be said of you today. And so I want us to remember that as we're redeeming the time, as we're serving the Lord, let's do so remembering what God has done for us in the past, remembering how God has supplied for others in the past, and saying, you know what? The Lord has never failed any one person in the past. He has not failed me yet, and I know He will continue to never fail me. And so we can serve Him faithfully, knowing that He is faithful to us. And so I just want to remind you of that. It's our job to be faithful to God. It is our duty and our privilege because God was so good to us and sent his son to die for you and for me. And so, my friend, let's serve the Lord today and let's serve him with gladness. And so, thank you so much for joining us today for our our 30-minute encouragement. It is a wonderful joy to be able to serve the Lord alongside you. Baby, thank you so much for being here with me today. It's been great to be able to have you here.
I love being here.
Absolutely. And so we just want to say thank you. God bless you. And always remember, God loves you. So go share that love with somebody else. Let's serve the Lord together and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Bye.